Oh, the 6 dance triumph, albeit it's Charlie Davenport.
Coming off the corner, it's going to be Ben Crouch taking home the win here at Chicagoland. Lucas Holmes is going to take the win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
PJ Williams will finally win in the Power Truck Series. Will he though? No, he won't. Kuklon will win.
We are the NIRA.
What's up everyone, it's your boy NSRacing97 AKA Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome everyone to Michigan International Speedway for race number 17 of 24 for season number 3 of the NIRA Red Bull Cup Series. We are here and ready to figure out which 4 drivers will leave Michigan without a title shot, and we will find out which 12 will leave Michigan and go to Las Vegas knowing that they still have a 1 in 12 shot at the championship. I am not alone for this one. I am joined by Napa Fan up here in the booth once again.
Yeah, this should be a very fun race here in Michigan, especially considering it's a cutoff race. And those cutoff races, they're always going to be back and forth, and, not many people are safe. Johnny Gardner's safe, but other than her, it's going to be a very interesting points battle around this entire race here today. 50 laps here in Michigan. It should be interesting to see who makes it in and who gets cut off here in the Red Bull Cup Series playoff standings.
It's going to be very close. A lot of people are in good shape, but besides Johnny Gardner, no one is locked in per se. Roger, he's plus 44, the defending champion, 3 wins. Really gotten hot the first 2 races. He's the best one that's not locked in, that could possibly clinch the win easily. Plus 44 right now, so as long as nothing screwy happens to Roger, he should be fine. Rob Evans is in the same boat, plus 33. Sebastian Kuklon, who's came out of nowhere in this playoffs, he's in 4th, plus 31. Same with Bradley Ween, plus 27 out of nowhere ever since the playoffs started. Yepes is plus 25, and Noah Clifton, who was up there with Roger Way, but now he's down in the order based off of what happened at Darlington and just getting a bad finish. He's plus 24, Brett Sierra is plus 23, Dillard is plus 17, Overa, who starts on the pole, is plus 16 now, Carlton Friesen is plus 10, and then the last driver in as of now is Wyatt Quill, only 4 points in. And then the 4 drivers that are on the bubble right now is Mitchell Collins, 4 points out, Jake Galloway, who just a couple races ago at Pocono was battling for the regular season championship with Noah Clifton, and now he's outside the cutoff line, 14th from point, 6 points outside the cutoff line. DJ Reed, who at the tail of Darlington got involved in the crash, he's 10 points out, and Bronson Minnick is 11 points out as of now. So now, but out of these drivers that are on the bubble line, who do you think needs to work the hardest to possibly make it into the round of 12 and not face elimination here today?
Well, they definitely all need to work hard in this race. You got to make sure you're up front. I do think, Mitchell Collins, Jake Galloway, if they finish top 10 in this race here today, I think those guys should be good to go to move on in. DJ Reed, Bronson Minnick, they're not even that much farther out either. They're all pretty close to that cutoff point, with Minnick being the farthest away, 11 points out. Of course, if any of them win here today, they're going to move on. And Mitchell Collins there starts in the 3rd position here for this race, so he's got a good advantage compared to these other guys who are on that, or should I say below that cutoff point. So the main thing is, when caught up in an accident, get a top 10, and that could easily help you get in to the next round here in the Red Bull Cup Series.
Very true. If we see Collins like we saw in the 12th race yesterday, then it could be an interesting one here in the Michigan Irish Hills. And it's going to be an interesting one. First Cup race of 2021, and the second NIRA race, race of 2021 as well. And all 42 cars will get rolling off here at Michigan. And here is the top 10 for the Menards 400 at Michigan. Angel Overo starts on the pole, and alongside him is the winner of the part-time qualifying race that happened a little bit ago. Ben Dover in the number 66. Row number 2 is the number 2 of Mitchell Collins, and alongside him is the number 88 of William Block. Row number 3 is Noah Clifton and the number 95 of Christian Vargas. Row number 4 is 2 drivers that are pretty much locked in for the most part. Garner, of course, already locked in, and Watchaway plus 44. And running out the top 10 is kind of like an underdog in these playoffs. Zach Giordano in 9th, and running out the top 10 is Jake Galloway, the British running out the top 10. So what do you think we will see here today in Napa with the PJ1 versus the not PJ1? Which lane will prevail, and who do you think will win the Menards 400?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how the PG1's gonna work. We don't like PG1 too much over in the NO with this early, so we don't use these types of tracks too often. But that outside lane's gonna be strong, especially earlier on. I'm gonna go ahead and say Mitchell Collins goes to victory lane here today. Not little ways from his hometown, but still, I think Mitchell Collins gonna go ahead and win and bump himself to the next round of the chase.
Not a bad pick. Here we go. The Menards 400 is green. Race 17 and the final race of the round of 16 is green in the Irish Hills of Michigan. If you want playoff drivers up front, well, here you go. 3 of them up front, bound for the race lead on that number 2. O'Farrell leads that number 1, but Clifton through the middle, trying to make that stick in that 00 machine.
Yeah, realizing the first lap that Johnny Gutter had a really wild moment there entering turn number 3. That inside lane definitely seems to be a little loose. That PJ1 definitely seems to be the place to be at this point, but two lanes seem pretty equal right now, as you got Olvera leading this field, Collins on the outside right behind them, and Clifton on the inside. They're all right on each other here for the race lead on lap 2.
And this is what we saw a lot in the 12th race yesterday, is that very bottom lane, it just kept on getting looser and looser as the race went on. And we could very well see that once again here today, as the pack behind them is 3 and 4 wide. We could see disaster strike at any point. We saw 5 wide yesterday in the 12th, but there was no caution for it. But I don't know, with these couple cars, they might not be able to go 5 wide here today. But how about Mitchell Collins working this inside lane to perfection? This Penske Motorsports, or this Team Penske forward to the race lead, but O'Vera with a massive 1 on the top side, and Noah Clifton make it 3 playoff contenders, 3 wide for the race lead.
Yeah, these 3 guys in particular seem to be very strong in this race, and I know Clifton really doesn't need that good of a run to advance on. But Olvera is only sitting 15 points up, so he's got to be a little bit more careful than Clifton. But the way it's currently running right now, I think all 3 of these guys will make it on to the next round of the playoffs. As you got Gardner there on the outside, the only driver who's locked into the next round, looking for another win in this round, as he's got a good run in there on the outside of Mitchell Collins.
And for Johnny Garner and Rob Evans, that entire Evans Garner Motorsports team has been red hot since the playoffs started. There's a reason why that both cars are very possible of making it into the round of 12, maybe even into the round of 8, if they are lucky enough. About a 5 or 6 car breakaway now, as these tires are starting to get a little bit old, and these guys are starting to get spread out a tiny bit. It's going to be about 23-25 laps on fuel, so it very well could be a 1 or 2 stop race here today at Michigan. But so far, no one is able to stop Angel O'Vera on that top side, and from help from his JGR teammate Jake Galloway, they are going to zoom on by Garner, and it's going to be a JGR 1-2 here at Michigan.
Yeah, Galloway's another one of those guys that needs a good run here today to make it on to the next round. 6 points out of the cutoff coming in. But a win for him.
Oh, there they go.
We got a wreck in the back.
Crash. Carter freezing upside down. 2 cars upside down. Stephen Cohen as well. Massive
Oh,
crash. Madison Tall, Shane Winslow, Andrew Miller, Bobby Frazier, Charlie Davenport, who made it through the qualifying race. Daniel Wills has a hood buckle. A massive crash. DJ Reed got some damage in the number 1 once again for the 2nd straight week in a row.
Yeah, that might end the chances for DJ Reed in advancing on right there. Tough break for him right there. Not entirely sure that happened, but all that 4 wide we had in the back of the pack, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple guys got a little too close and everyone else was close around them and a big wreck ensued afterwards.
Yeah, this will happen in the 12th race as well. Once they crashed, a couple of trucks flipped. And in this case, a couple of cars flipped in turn number 2. But yesterday, the 12 spot was in 3 and 4. And now the first caution comes out on that number 6 in turn number 2. Tough way for Madison Tall and for everyone involved. And that is definitely going to take Carter Friesen out of the running for this championship more than likely. Not what Friesen wanted, not returning to the Cup Series next season, and that's not what he wanted to see here at Michigan. But now pit stops, and some people are actually staying out here. Let's say the 34 of Quentin Moore stays out, the 41 of Sebastian Kukon stays out, and the 3 of Elijah Gordon stays out. So 3 cars stay out, but everyone else is deciding to pit. So split strategy could be interesting of how this all shakes out here at Michigan. And Ovela will win the race off of pit road out of everyone that is pitting. But
Yeah, we saw there during that. Sorry, but we saw that during the green flag run, that track position seemed to mean quite a bit right there, as Olvera led all but 1 lap during that green flag run. So this could be a bit of strategy play for those 3 guys who stayed out. And they're going to try to stretch it on 1 stop. You mentioned that the fuel runs about 23 to 25 laps. They may still have to do 2, and that could put them at a disadvantage at the end of this race. But everyone else who came down, they should be good to go with only 1 more stop in this race, which is a big reason why they came down under this caution.
things could get interesting. Things have already gotten interesting here at Michigan. What a way to kick off 2021 with 2 wild races. The 12th race was wild, and this race is always shaping up to be a wild one as well. So it will be the number 34 of Quentin Moore leading us back to the green on the restart. But first, let's see if what on earth happened to bring out the first caution of the day and for race number 17 for the Menards for at Michigan. Here we go. This will happen in turn 1 and 2. Friesen and Colin got together, and then the 31 of Vandermiller got shoved up into that and made it a 4-wide situation into a 5-wide, and Colin Friesen just got into the back end of Stephen Cohen and shot him up into the air. Stephen Cohen for a while wide got a couple of shots. Shane Winslow, and then again for Colin Friesen, Charlie Davenport involved. Not really that many people involved, but definitely 2 wild flips here at Michigan. The big ones, not really a big one, but the mini one strikes in turn 2. And unfortunately, the big one in all this is the Canadian Carter Friesen in that number 20 machine. Joe Gibbs has been dominant this season, but most likely they are going to leave Michigan without the 20 car making it into the round of 12.
And you see here, you got nearly 5 in turn number 2, and that 47 came right up on Carter Friesen right there. There's just no place to go. That is the worst place for them to shoot up. Very bad angle for Friesen and Colin as they both go upside down and stay there. And as Nathan mentioned, that will more than likely end the chances for Carter Friesen to make it on to the next round of the playoffs. That's the way this system is. Bad for 3 races, and your chances are done, even if you had a good season. But either way, let's go ahead and get back to racing here at Michigan.
Welcome back here at Michigan. We will go back going on that number 11 of 50. And the cars that are out are obviously Carter Friesen, Stephen Cohen, Madison Tall and Charlie Davenport. Bobby Frazier is 1 lap down. So that leaves us with 37 cars on the lead lap and 38 cars on the racetrack. The top 3 stayed out: Quentin Moore, Sebastian Kuklon, and Elijah Gordon. The first one that pitted is Angel Ovea in the number 18. And Noah Clifton rounds out the top 5 back wing on that lap number 11.
Yeah, good run there for those guys in the outside to clear Rob Evans, but, or should I say Bobby Frazier, my apologies right there. Looks a little similar, but that 32 may become an issue later on in this race if we still have a large pack and they come back around to reach them. That could become an issue. It could split the pack up, and then if they don't avoid them well, it could end up in another accident. So I want to watch for that later on down the road here in Michigan.
And Bobby Frazier, he is massively slow. He's only going 156.
He's stuck in 3rd gear, actually.
Compared to everyone else going 195. So lap calls are normally a factor in the damage, but Bobby Frazier is going to be a massive problem and multiple times in this race. Meanwhile, Zach Winkle, a guy that we've not really seen up front that much this season, trying to lead this inside lane up to the front and challenge for the race lead. Now this is going to be interesting because I think some people did fuel only from the people that pitted, and then some people did 2 tires and some people did 4 tires, and then of course the top 3 stayed out. So completely a different ball game with all these different strategies. But one thing that seems to be the same is that Angel Ovea has a bad fast number 18 Toyota.
Yeah, he definitely does. Olvera definitely seems to be one of the guys to beat in this race here today. I can't remember who won Pocono when we did that about a month ago.
It was Angel Ovea.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I remember him doing well on that race too, so hey, maybe I should call more races for Angel Olvera here. Just going to have to find out. I'm going to split the middle right there as Elijah Gordon goes to the inside in his home state to the inside there of Kukulon. And we did see a pass for the race lead up front right there, so you can make it work on that middle lane. Going to be interesting to see if that comes into play later on here today at Michigan.
That failure bell could play into a factor, but right now the top 3 that stay out, they're holding their own here up front right now. And Sebastian Kuklon, who's been red hot since the playoffs started all in this round. Sulos are not really known to be a good team per se, but they must have given all of their focus to this 41 car because he's been bad fast all chase long at Indy, at Darlington, and now here at Michigan. And Kuklon is out front in that number 41, but maybe not for long because the all-star race winner from the season, Quentin Moore, wants to take the race lead away in the number 34 here at Michigan, side by side coming to the line.
Yeah, Quentin Moore, because when we did the Christmas Eve 500 together, he did very well in that race, at least in the start of that race, and led nearly the first third of that event. And here he is up front at a place where it doesn't seem to be too easy to move your way from the back to the front, so we're going to have to see. The 3 guys who stayed out are 1, 2, 3 right now with Gordon, Quentin Moore, and Sebastian Kukulon. Definitely going to be interesting to see if any of those guys pulled the right strategy later on in this race.
They might have done the right strategy for now, but the question is if they did the right strategy towards the end of the race with pit stops and stuff. Because for everyone that pitted, they're still gonna have to make one more pit stop sometime past halfway. And for these guys that didn't pit, they might have to pit twice. I don't know, but maybe they were able to save enough fuel. I don't know. But right now, Mitchell Collins. Not Mitchell Collins, but Quentin Moore and Sebastian Kuklon and Moore battling hard for this race lead. And here comes Rob Evans, I believe 3rd in points coming into this race. If he has a good one, he could easily make it onto the round of 12. And oh, jeez.
There we go. There's Frazier. And that's going to split the pack up. Only 5 guys, and maybe 6 going to get away from this one.
I was afraid of how fast it was going to take to catch up to Bobby Frazier, and it did not take that long at all. But still going to get held up massively in that number 9, same with Zachary DeLillo. And this is going to be a headache all race long. Just the fact that it took only 6 laps to catch back up with him. So we're going to catch up to him multiple times throughout the rest of this race. And now that massive pack is no more, as we have a couple of packs now, and this has changed the whole complexity of this race, as Jake Galloway, who needs a great one trying to help Quentin Moore on that top side and stay out front.
And Quinn Moore doing a good job holding these guys off. He actually lost the lead to Kukulon, but took it back away. And you got Galloway and Crampton here, the 11 and 95. Those are, or should I say Vargas, my apologies there. I don't know why I said Travis Crampton there. He's in the 36 back there. I checked to see who was in the 36 earlier, and got that name stuck in my head. But either way, there goes Galloway. We got another slow car in the way. That's Andrew Miller, and he's really going to split this pack up. They may bring in a lot of these other guys back into the pack, but Quentin Moore is pulled away, and he's all by himself right now here in Michigan.
That was probably the worst time for Jake Galloway to try to make a pass. He tried to split between Quentin Moore and Andrew Miller, but it did not work in time. He did not pull the move off in time, and unfortunately that did not work for him. But here's the scary thing for Quentin Moore. We have one Ford, and what's behind him? Three Toyotas. So, and actually two of them are trying to do a two-car tandem here at Michigan and catch up to Quentin Moore. Now Galloway's going to try to do of what he did last time and go for this race lead here at Michigan on that number 19.
Yeah, number 11 looking really strong right here. He's got some help there behind him with Christian Vargas. He may be able to take the race lead right here from Quentin Moore. I think he's going to be able to clear him right here. So, a new race leader in Galloway, and he's one of these guys who did come down into that caution, so he should be able to make the race on one more stop. We just don't know about Quentin Moore. If he can make it past halfway, he's good to go on one more stop as well, which means he's going to be on the same strategy as everybody else. Same goes for Elijah Gordon and Sebastian Kukulon a little bit farther back in the pack. Quentin Moore going to try to take the lead back from Galloway, but not going to be able to do it right there, as Galloway's going to hold on that outside lane, that PJ1 coming into effect right there for the number 11.
And here's the scary thing that everyone has to worry about. These other three Jokers racing cars, they, of course we all saw Friesen take a while wide, but the other three, they tangled each other. They formed the train off of turn number 4, and they, for the most part, were able to get by Quentin Moore, and now Rodgeway, who I should just call this the Rodgeway Cup Series, because Season 2 he won the championship, and this season he is bad fast once again. And, or maybe I should call it the Joe Gibbs Cup Series, because they've been really good this year as well. But Rodgeway trying to take the race leeway, and we are about to have more lap traffic of the 37 of Shane Winslow. And lap traffic is going to be a fat
lane's going to get held up right there. Ooh, that's tight. Galloway, he got lucky there. He could have lost a lot more ground than he did. He's going to, for the most part, stick with these guys. Rob Evans coming back through the field, and his teammate Johnny Gardner there as well. A lot of guys got out of that one, but a couple new faces up front here in Michigan.
And pretty much since the playoffs have started, it's been this 5 and the 65 that have been that fast. And oh my goodness, again with the 32 already. Oh jeez. So many lap cars in the way. So much madness, Michigan madness here at Michigan.
Yeah, these guys got to be careful. I'm surprised they haven't closed in on each other and wrecked because of these lap cars they're trying to get around. But hey, kudos to them for keeping it together so far. Hopefully they can keep it that way the rest of the race.
Hopefully so, but the amount of close calls that we've had to deal with since the restart is unreal. And, well, the guy that's trying to get win number 4 on the season, Rodgeway, is out front. Versus the guy that's right behind him in points, I believe, Rob Evans in second. And, okay, well, the top 3 in points are 1, 2, 3 right now. But now Rob Evans trying to take the race lead away. But will his teammate Johnny Gardner help him? Does not look like it. He has no help on that top side. Never mind now. Gardner will help his teammate on the inside lane.
Yeah, it's important to realize that Rob Evans has not won a race yet this year, even though he's been having a very solid round of 16. Definitely love to get that first dub of the year, but Gardner wants his 3rd dub of the year there in that inside lane, and I think that's Quentin Moore coming down the pit lane right behind him. At lap 24, Elijah Gordon coming down as well. Kukulon is still out there. Kukulon may be able to split this race, so watch out for Kukulon, but he is already a little ways behind everybody else here, so he may not have as good of an opportunity as we thought he may have from staying out earlier on. So it could come down to these Joe Gibbs guys and these Gardner Evans Motorsport guys up front here at Michigan.
Yeah, they tried doing strategy. Quentin Moore, Elijah Gordon, and Kukulon, but it did not work out. But the thing is, for Kuklon, he cannot pit because he's stuck on the top side. But I don't know. I don't think he really wants to pit right now because he's moving his way up to the front. And there it is. Joker's racing teammates. Two-car tandem trying to zoom on by Johnny Garner, but they can't quite do it here at Michigan. But here comes Mitchell Collins out of nowhere as well. And Kuklon, who I just said that he didn't really want to pit and that he couldn't pit because he was stuck on the top side. And oh Jesus, good mighty.
It's definitely wild out there. I think Kukulon's back in there. 95's going to come down here. Kukulon finally getting to pit lane. He's got it past halfway here, so this is going to be interesting for those guys coming down right now. But there are more guys in the back coming down who may not have gotten a full tank of gas in that last time around. They could be short pitting to try to see what they can do with it here, but right now I think the more dominant guys in this race are up front at this point. You got Collins up here, you got Rob Evans, Johnny Gardner, Jake Galloway, Roger Ray. 95 machine there of Christian Vargas, the highest non-chaser in the field right now. They keep on shuffling all over the place. I'm wondering if these guys are going to come down right here. Looks like the 19 of Roger Ray will, with Rob Evans in the 65. Strategy play definitely coming into play here in Michigan right now. A lot of guys coming down, and we got a long cycle going on right now here in Michigan.
I was not expecting this whatsoever. They pitted on lap number 7, lap number 8. So it's been 20 laps, roughly, since they've pitted. So I don't know if they're just trying to short pit, or if they really can't make it. I don't know. But this Michigan tends to have fuel strategy sometimes, and this is what we might end up seeing later on in this race. But right now, we are going to catch up to the 32 of Bobby Frazier at the worst possible time once again.
Frazier, that's the third time we've run into him right there. He could very well determine who wins this race later on down the road, as we got 3 wide for the race lead right now. Got Noah Clifton there on the inside. How about Mitchell Collins? You know, Collins is a guy who came behind the cutoff. Carter Friesen's definitely a massive candidate for him to take that position away. So we're going to have to see if Collins can knock Friesen out. Of course, Friesen out of the race here, and odds are, especially if Collins finishes as well as he's running right now. And Wyatt Quayle's also up here as well, who's 12 right behind Friesen. Those two guys could easily push Friesen out of the points system if they finish where they're running. You got Andrew Miller getting in the way now. How about Wyatt Quayle going right to the race lead right there in the number 15?
Well, that's one way of taking the race lead. Pulling a move from Wyatt Quayle from 5th to 1st in 1 turn, all because of Andrew Miller. And like you said, Mitchell Collins, he's been kind of quiet. He won the Daytona 500, but he has not done much since. But, who knows, he very well could pull it upset here, and I believe Yepes is pinning. Yes, he is. So, looks like we just have a very long cycle of pit stops. Because now people are pitting with 20 to 21 laps to go. They still pitting right at halfway, and now it's 5 laps later. So, looks like the White Napa, they are just trying to stretch as long as they can and have a long cycle of green flag pit stops here at Michigan.
Yeah, these guys who are staying on right now may be the ones to watch out for in winning this race. I don't know about these other guys who short pit here, if they're going to have any advantage, or if they're going to have to come back down the pit lane before the end of the race again, because they came down with about 25, 23 laps to go. And our leaders are finally going to come down right here, but not everyone. Still a couple of guys staying out there. 00 Noah Clifton, specifically 66 up here as well, of Ben Dover. That's a hard name to say without chuckling. And Galloway also staying out in the number 11 machine. So watch out for these guys. 43, I don't know, is the 43 on the lead lap, or is he a lap down?
I think, he's a lap down. So he's all the way pitted. Josh Williamson all the way pitted. So I think
right there for Josh Williamson there in the 43 machine, fellow NOFSRL member. We took him away from you guys. Kind of feel bad about that.
Sadly.
Looking forward to what he brings to the NOFSRL next year. Definitely looking forward to that. Also looking forward to NIRA next year as well. You guys got a lot of great stuff coming in 2021.
That's for sure. And I think that's going to be everyone that's pitted up to this point. And, oh boy. No. That's not what I wanted.
The 17
Oh.
stopped on the track.
Well, that's not what I wanted to see during pit stops. Oh, boy.
That shakes a lot of things up. I think a lot of guys are going to still be on the lead lap here. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think weren't the leaders already coming down the pit lane once that began. So if that's the case, I think the majority of these guys are going to stay on the lead lap. But that is going to give a benefit to the 66, the 11, and the 00 right there. I think they're going to have the advantage. They should be able to drive around these guys. We're passing them right now, so... Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see how this all shakes out. This could get a little interesting. Hopefully they work back around to the tail end here. We'll have to see how that all cycles through. But, just Voyle stopping there on the racetrack, that's really going to affect the outcome of this race, I do believe.
Yeah, I hope it didn't mess too much stuff up. But I don't know. Rob Evans is being credited as the leader since the 88 of William Block just now is on pit road.
So all those guys who stayed out are going to be on the lead lap, and a lot of the guys who came down earlier are going to be stuck on the tail end. And that is, a lot of these guys, not a lot of these guys really were up front anyway, ahead of Rob Evans, so... It's just the way it is. Tough break there for Noah Clifton, the 00. I think he's going to be right on the tail end there of the lead lap. He was running up front. That definitely messed with a lot of things, but essentially most of the familiar faces we've been seeing up front in this race are going to be up front charging for this race victory.
Got to love Menards sometimes. Well, even though we already know of what most likely happened, let's see what actually happened. To bring out the second caution of the day during pit stops here at Michigan and for the Menards 400. Going to watch this one time, Voiles ran out of fuel and for some reason turned down right in front of Bronson when he came out of pit road. And because he stopped in the middle of the racetrack, that ended up bringing out the caution for the second time of the day. So, unfortunate, Voiles ran out of fuel, all the way damaged, and he couldn't make it back to pit road, and he just ran out of fuel and got turned by Bronson because he got in his way. Not what we wanted to see happen during pit stops. Definitely gonna shake up everything, but it will be Rob Evans lean on the restart here at Michigan, and let's go ahead and get back to the restart in race number 17 on the season, and for the Menards 400. Welcome back at Michigan International Speedway. We will have 17 cars on the lead lap. Everything has been tossed and turned, but it's gonna be interesting because should we have all these cars on the tail end of the lead lap, but then again you have Voiles, Andrew Miller, Shane Winsoff, and the 32 of Bobby Frazier very, very slow as well. So we could see a quick caution here if these guys are not careful. So pretty much if you want some wacky, funny stuff, well here you go. Noah Clifton, Rob Evans, Roger Way, Angel Overa, and Diego Yepes, the top 5, back green on that number 37.
Oh boy, these guys got to stay on that outside lane. And Rob Evans going to try it on the inside. That was an interesting move right there. I was just about to say, we'll let these guys get through all this first. Just about to say, I believe that top 5 was all chase drivers.
It was. Top 5
Rob
all
Evans
chase
going to
drivers.
take the lead away right there.
Well, a wacky restart, and we are not done yet because we still have this 37 car that is in the way as well. But man, that was sketchy from Rob Evans. But at the end of the day, that's going to look out for him because he's going to be leading all by himself with no Clifton right behind him.
Yeah, he's trying to get his first win of the season. He's not going to let anything stop him here. I'd also like to mention 34 Quentin Moore. He was one of those guys who initially stayed out, came down past halfway. He's up here now inside the top 5. you know, if he can make it to the end, he could be a threat to win this race.
He very well could. We still got a lot of our strongest cars up front. Like the other 3 Joe Gibbs cars is still they're still up front. John Garland's still up front, like Quail. So still a lot of people up front that's been fast all day. But it's gonna be interesting of how this all plays out, because the last car on the lead lap, I believe, is 48, or the last guy on the tail end, and it is the 48 of Eli Bright. He's gonna go a lap down now officially, and that's gonna make it 30 cars, I believe. Yeah, 30 cars on the lead lap. So it's a little bit of a give or take. For Rob Evans, the more cars he laps, the less competition he has. But then again, the more cars he tries to pass, that will allow everyone else to catch back up to him when he always has a big enough gap. So a lot of give or take right now here at Michigan.
You also got to realize there's only going to be 10 laps to go next time by, so we're almost done here in this race. Now it's going to be interesting because if Rob Evans gets stuck in this gaggle of cars ahead of him, I don't know how much he wants to try to get around these guys, but that 65 is coming fast. He's one of the fastest cars in the racetrack right now, but Clifton's also coming there in the 00. And that 00 could easily benefit from Rob Evans getting stuck in this pack right here.
Feeling well could. It doesn't look like this pack is really that slow though, but this is a bad thing for DJ Lee. He was already 10 points out. He was involved with that crash, and now he is officially a lap down, so I think that might have just officially knocked him out of the playoffs. Not been a good couple of weeks for DJ Reed. It's been a very up and down season for this team, and unfortunately it's not going to be a up here at Michigan. Now this is going to be interesting, because we have Rob Evans, who's still trying to lap all these guys. He just lapped Travis Crampton and Osman Hamid. But then again, he has a 6 on the number 6 car of Alexander Lowe in between himself and Noah Clifton. And the more cars that Rob Evans laps, the more cars that Noah Clifton has to get by just to catch up to Rob Evans.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting because that 65 is putting a gap on the 00 right now. Might want to watch for some other guys in the back here. Maybe Olvera in the number 18. He might be closing in this pack as well. And Galloway, you know, Jake Galloway's a guy who needs a good run to advance on, and they had to get around Frazier again. But Jake Galloway, I think, is in a position to advance on to the next round of the chase here, so we'll have to see what he can do. And that number 11 machine, he's right on the back bumper of his teammate right there, and Angel Oliveira, who's on the back bumper of Noah Clifton. And Rob Evans is out of here in the 65 machine. Passing on these guys on that outside lane, he may be able to clear this entire pack here before we're all said and done.
He very well could, and what I think is that Oliveira and Clifton, they're trying to work together just to catch up to Rob Evans. It's kind of working, but it kind of isn't. They need more fast race cars on that bottom if they want to do anything, and right now there just isn't. But they are moving though. They are moving. They are catching up to Rob Evans on that top side, but Kuklon, here's the thing. Kuklon, he's not locked into the round of 12, so he's still trying to get by the 21 and the 14 and get more positions, but yet he's trying to not go a lap down to Rob Evans, but now that's too late because now Rob Evans just went by him, and now Rob Evans is going to go to the bottom of the 21.
Yeah, Rob Evans is definitely looking strong in this race. And Galloway, I think, is Galloway now in second? I think
so.
Yeah, he is. Clifton fell back. Clifton got stuck in the inside. Kind of the opposite effect here. The outside lane is where you want to be, and the inside lane is the slow lane at this point. So Galloway is now looking to get the win to lock his spot on here. Rob Evans doesn't need to win to lock his spot on, but he would love to get his first win of the season. He's now about to clear this entire pack with 5 laps to go. It's going to be very difficult for anybody else to get around the 65, but now he's on the inside lane. This could really get interesting. If he gets stuck down there, Galloway could work the outside and surpass him for the race lead at some point. And he is coming there in the 11th.
This is far from over, but here's the thing. We have Andrew Miller that we are about to lap again. And we still have these lap cars that are going to be a factor 5 laps to go at Michigan. Who will win the Menards 400? Right now, Rob Evans is lean. And oh, jeez.
wow. The outside lane got held up there. That is going to seal it, I think.
That might have just done
Galloway's fallen back quite a bit here as that 31 machine's jamming up that outside lane. Clifton's going to get by there. Roger Ray, Yepez there in the 52. They're all going to get by there on the inside. And Galloway, that might take Galloway out of the chase. He was up to second at one point. He's going to fall outside the top 10 once this is all said and done right here.
It very well could. I don't know. It's very cloudy at the moment. I don't know of what it's going to be for Galloway now. Because someone's going to get in no matter what based off of what happened to Friesen. But besides that, I don't know. Galloway might not make it. I think it's going to come down to Galloway and Collins for that final spot, I believe. And right now, Collins is ahead of Galloway. But meanwhile,
Collins is coming in a little bit stronger right there near the end. He really wasn't up front that much during this run, but I'll have to see. We know that Friesen's more than likely going to get knocked out. I haven't seen DeLello at all in this race. He was only 17 points ahead. He might be a guy to watch out for. Is Fraser again?
hopefully this is the last time we catch up to him.
Oh boy, that's going to get interesting right there.
Oh.
Pez going to lose a couple of positions there in the 52.
We know that we talked about earlier of how the 32 could determine of who wins. This 32 could determine of who makes it into the next round of the playoffs at this rate. This Brett Sealer, he is currently in 16th. So he should be good where he's at right now. And there's DeLello, he's 17th. But he...
that should be good enough for him to make it on.
I know.
I think, we got DJ Reed, Bronson Minnick. I think both of those guys are going to be out at this point. And the big question is, who's going to be that fourth guy? Because Friesen, I think, is another guy that's pretty obvious. Don't know who else we may end up having in that position, but white flag in the air here.
And Angel
Vera's there in the 18.
Second.
He's closed up quite a bit here. He may have a shot at this race victory. He's kind of come out of nowhere here in the 18 machine.
I don't know what it is with these Joe Gibbs cars, but they are bad fast no matter what. But I think it's going to be over. If I'm being side by side with the number 4, that's going to seal it. We know that DJ Reed, Bronson Minnick, and Carl Friesen are going to be out of the playoffs. We don't know who the 4th one will be, but we know one thing. Rob Evans will get his first win in the Red Bull Cup Series here today at Michigan, winning the Menards 400.
There's a good win there for Rob Evans. Definitely a strong car, and this first win of the season at that. He's going to lock his spot onto the round of 12. It's going to be interesting to see who else makes it on. Collins definitely has an advantage on Galloway in the points, so I don't think it's going to be Collins who gets knocked out. Just don't know who else is back in there enough, lost enough points to get knocked out in this one, because a lot of those guys finished well in this race. Just gonna have to find out once we get those points figured out.
But like the thing that I'm really curious on is that with DeLello, he came in here plus 17, and he got 17th. So I think he might barely be able to make it by a couple of
I don't think
points.
there's any way. Yeah, I don't think there's any way for him to have been knocked out. We'll have to see. We'll figure it out here. Let's figure it out.
It's gonna be interesting. This race as a whole was interesting. Only 17 cars finished on the lead lap. I don't know why, but this race was really interesting. But Rob Evans gets the job done. Angel Olvera in second, and how about the part-time car that won the qualifying race? Ben Dover in the number 66 gets third. Mark Davison in fourth. Noah Clifton in fifth. He should be good easily. William Blott in sixth, and I believe Mitchell Collins might be good. Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure Mitchell Collins is gonna get that, get into the top 12 with that one. Watch away. He did what he had to do. He was already essentially locked in anyway, so he is good. Same with Rob Evans. He didn't need to win, but he just went out and won anyway. And won anyway. and then Wyatt Quill got 10th. He needed a good one. He was only +4 coming into this race, and with that top 10, he's most likely gonna be safe. Patrick Smith, Johnny Garner, Jake Galloway, Quinton Moore, Vargas, Brett Sealer, and Zachary Lello rounds out the top 17 that finished on the lead lap. Let's see. We lapped Bobby Frazier a whopping 7 times in this race because he was stuck in 3rd gear.
Goodness. There was no reason for him to be out there.
It really wasn't. Luckily, he
They'll
didn't.
love NR sometimes.
Yeah, luckily he didn't really cause too much drama and chaos, but boy, Bobby Frazier, he really should not have been out there on the racetrack. Bronson is out, Davenport is out, Tall is out, Colin and Friesen are both out as well. And all I can say for both Michigan races for Trucks yesterday and Cup today is welcome to 2021 and welcome to the NIRA in 2021. Because this has been a crazy weekend.
Let's take this year one day at a time. We learn from 2020. Let's just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, well.
But no, I mean, we got a lot of great things planned on our end in the NOSRL, but obviously you guys got a lot of big things planned in the NRA as well, so we're looking forward to seeing what you guys do. Should be a good year on our end here, on all of our ends.
Yeah, hopefully it's better than 2020. But man, what a wacky race. This has been wacky both days. The truck race had 3 trucks flying to the air at Michigan. We had a truck freaking do a nose wheelie as well. And then we saw a double flip here and foils running out of gas. Just a crazy weekend here at Michigan. And all I can say is that 1 weekend down, 51 weekends left of 2021. What a wild race. What's your final thoughts on this one, Napa, in a crazy Michigan race?
It was interesting, no doubt about it. You know, I think we generally saw certain guys dominate this race for a good reason, like Rob Evans, Angel Oliveira. They finished very well in this event, and they were some of the stronger guys in this race. We saw a lot of guys who were up there in points already finish up front in this race, so could be a telling sign for the rest of the season here in the Red Bull Cup Series. I think we watch out for Rob Evans, Roger Ray, Sebastian Kukulon, Johnny Garner. Those guys, they are going to have a good shot at this championship this season. They all ran very well here today in Michigan.
Yeah, let's just say that there's a reason why that Johnny Garner is all the way locked in. There's a reason why that Roger Ray almost locked in one race early. These guys are getting red hot at the right time, and it's going to be really interesting going into the round of 12 for Las Vegas, Talladega, and Road America. So, very interesting round of 12 there. And it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure, for the next 3 races in the Red Bull Cup Series to find out who makes it into the round of 8. And for a more calmer round of 8, as well as Chicago and Charlotte and Phoenix. But that's way down the line. A wild race here at Michigan, a wild race in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Rob Evans gets his first career win, I believe, in the ILA, and his first career win in the Red Bull Cup Series. And that team, Evans, Garner, Motorsports, gets their 3rd win on the season. That team could be a sleeper and could be the team to stop Joe Gibbs Racing finally in season number 3 of the Red Bull Cup Series. Congratulations to Rob Evans on winning the Menards 400 here at Michigan. Thanks to Napa for joining me up here in the booth. And the points, the playoff points, team points, rookie of the year points, and everything else like that will be at the end of the video. And until next time at Las Vegas, either on Wednesday or next weekend, to start the round of 12, I'm NSRacing97, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
It's like got me thinking about love and the pain. I think that I'm broken.